Well, hello, and how are you? I'm pretty chill right now. Um, Thought I'd pop on here for a few minutes to say hello because it's been about 5 or 6 days, something like that. There we go. I don't want my glasses to be any sort of distraction visually, even though this is mostly an auditory medium. But, you're still looking at the camera, right? Anyway, thought I'd pop on for a few minutes to say hello, see how you're doing, try and make amends for the vocoder debacle I had last week, not realizing that I did. Mistakes were made, things happen, we move on. We as in the royal we, me, myself, and I. Okay, so greetings to you, my friends, online, in the world, wherever you're watching from. I don't, hang on a second, I gotta clear my throat. I do have to put my glasses on so I can see some of the screens. Hey, thanks, Slick. Yeah, things are going pretty good, actually. Things are going quite good. How are things down in Texas, my friend? It's quite hot here today. I think the current temperature with the humidity is about 31 degrees Celsius, so that's 90-ish Fahrenheit for my American friends. Remember, 37 degrees is body temperature, so that's 98.6, so 37 Celsius is almost 99 degrees Fahrenheit, so 31 it's hot. It's hot. Hey, Linda, how are you? So, in a strange place today, I'm feeling quite good, actually, emotionally, and sorry, I just need to adjust something here. Emotionally and physically, there's just so much weirdness going on in the world right now, right? And a lot of weirdness going on in this city. If you're not aware, there's a strange group of people who are squatting in a deconsecrated church, which was formerly an arts center over the last 10 or 15 years. But it kind of, COVID. So it's been abandoned basically for the last 2.5, almost 3 years. So this group moved in and decided that they said they were going to buy it, but they don't have the $6 million to purchase it. And it turns out they didn't pay the rent or have the fire insurance, and it is a heritage building, and they made modifications to a heritage building. So there's a lot of weird stuff happening in my city once again, which is difficult, but, I'm trying not to rant. I'm just trying to let you know how I'm feeling here in the nation's capital of Ottawa, Canada. It's been a beautiful summer weather-wise for the most part. We had the derecho, some strange storms and a lot of rain in the month of August. I think we had basically a month's worth of rain in 2 days. 2 days, I think it was, back in early August. So it's been a weird summer. And I was lucky enough to get away last weekend for the first time this summer. I went up to my friend's cottage for the weekend and had a couple of drinks of wine and had some great meals, played around at golf, which was great, even though it was like an incredibly hot day. I think it might have been the hottest day of the year, and that kind of is par for the course, because literally every time we play that course, it's the hottest day of the year. I think that's been 3 or 4 years running now that we've been playing that course on the hottest day of the year. So we just kind of figure that's how it should be, right? Anyway, yeah, I had a wonderful weekend. Swam in the lake, went to a vineyard, had a nice glass of wine, had a spectacular dinner. Just a great weekend. Sat, watched the sunset with some good buddies. Went back to the cottage and sat in the hot tub, had a cigar. Just thoroughly enjoyed myself, and kind of, I guess in a weird way, a little sad that was the first weekend I've had a chance to get away. I literally have been working in my day job, only 40 hours a week in my day job, but pursuing the podcast with the political show, the 2 music shows, ASMR, and the occasional guest spot on the Dean Blundell podcast. It's kept me very, very busy, and a lot of that requires a lot of work. So, yeah, I've been a busy guy. Favorite cigar? Well, one that I literally can't find anymore. They were made in Jamaica. Macanudo. Macanudo still, it's a company. They still make cigars, but they're all made in Nicaragua now. They don't make them in, they don't have Jamaican Macanudos anymore. They were my favorite. And once in a very blue moon, I might have like literally 5-6 cigars in an entire calendar year. So it's not a habit for me. It's just an occasional thing. But for Cubans, Bolivar, very, very nice. I'm not real big on cohibas, but you know, if you offer me one, I'm not going to say no. And of course, you know, being that I'm Canadian, what cigar do I want? I can get them all. They are very expensive here, though. Not that they're cheap anywhere, for that matter. They're all pretty expensive. Let me just try something here. Yeah, that does work. I just have this little button on this little unit I purchased that's supposed to give me Zoom capabilities. I'm working on programming it. It takes a little bit. So, what time is it? It's about 9:30, 9:40, 9:45 almost. And a lovely summer evening here. I'm just needing to breathe. Need to remind people to breathe. Kind of in that sort of holding pattern with all of the insanity that's going on around the world right now. We're not going to discuss that. We all know what's going on. I think it's just a matter of we need to figure out how to unplug from that, clear our mind, and relax. I don't know if you can hear the siren in the background. This mic should block it out, but I don't know. I do have to make a run to the wood shop this weekend. I don't know which supply store I'm going to go to because I need to pick up some wood to complete the build of the isolation booth. It's almost finished, literally almost finished. It's just a matter of making the run to the store, pick up the parts, and finish the assembly. And I know I've been talking about it for quite some time, but I've been unbelievably busy, and that really, you know, takes time. Hey, good evening. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Having a hard time finding my voice this evening. I think because fatigue. I would say a little bit of stress, but not so much. There's just the tiniest little bit of stress, which usually revolves around, all the bills are coming due, and then how do we budget for that and for this, and you know, that's how life goes sometimes, right? And Can't seem to clear my throat. It is ragweed season, and if you have ragweed allergies like I do, you'll understand what I'm saying. So I sound probably a little hoarse this evening. A slightly different texture to my voice, maybe. I don't know. You may like it, you may dislike it. I don't know. I'm just going to do this thing, and hopefully I can help you. So, something happened recently, and I do have to check on the date because I don't actually recall. It was recent. I'll have to look it up because I like to strive for accuracy. Okay, yeah. So we are the 24th of August today. 24th. Yes, the 24th. So it was August 11th, 2014. So just over 8 years ago, when we, all of us, lost an artist who was troubled, certainly, clearly, as he perished by his own hand. But he was a kind, influential individual who brought joy and laughter to millions, possibly billions, I don't know. I think over the course of his lifetime, certainly hundreds of millions, and as time marches on, many, many millions more. And it was his untimely death, although he did, perish at his own hand. I say it was untimely because I thought, he still had years in front of him. Whatever he chose for his reason to shuffle off this mortal coil is only known by him. Everything else is speculation. But it was that moment when I chose to go public once again. And I say once again for a reason, because I did it when I was first diagnosed in the 90s with depression. And it was August 11th, 2014, when Robin Williams left this world. And I remember reading about it and thinking to myself, okay, that's it, no more hiding. Time to come forward and talk about, what you're going through. So I did. I discussed, how I felt, and I think that was maybe the catalyst for change, that specific moment in time. I found a lot of people who came forward after that and discussed the same thing. It was just, okay, let's throw the veil off, throw the cape away, the shadow, the curtain, just pull it back and expose everything that's there, and let's talk about what we're going through. Because if somebody who is so admired and loved by millions and has a family, because he had children and a new wife and a very good career, can succumb to what depression can do to you, well then, that's something we need to talk about. So that's when I say went forward, became public once again. And I say once again because when I was first diagnosed, I tried to talk about it in the late 90s. And as you can imagine, I got a lot of pushback. And I don't judge or have any ill feelings towards any of those folks who push back. They didn't understand. Hey, Steve. They didn't understand, so they do now. And one or two of that group came to me and said, I'm really sorry, Paul. I was not understanding back then. And I said, no, it's okay. I tried to explain it, and I didn't. I was younger, And I didn't have the tools that I have now to try and express what I was feeling at that time, to let you know what I was going through and what it really meant. I tried to tell, but I just wasn't good at describing it. I'm better today, but and the medication that I'm on today is tremendously better than what I took back then. That stuff made me crazy. One second. Yes, you're right, sir. Success and happiness, isn't that a strange yet double-edged sword in weird ways? You know, we'll go on about how, you know, to be successful, you need to achieve blah, 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 blah. You know what? In my mind, to me, success is not money, it's not things, it's not possessions, it's not status, it's not a position. Success is being surrounded by people that love you and care for you. And the more people that love and care for you, the more successful you are. And something that I don't think gets discussed quite nearly enough is that, you know, money can't buy time. It needs to be repeated. Because it can't buy time and it can't buy happiness. It'll help feed you and maybe give you nicer housing and nicer clothing, but it won't make you happy. Being surrounded by people that love and care for you will make you happy. You are correct, Linda. I'll put this up on the screen because this is very, very true. Some people don't want to see the vulnerability in others because they aren't ready to acknowledge it themselves. And let me talk about that for a second. A friend of mine, we haven't spoken in a few years. You know, the world's been kind of on pause. But we're still connected on social media, and occasionally I'll see her posts. When I was much younger, somebody once said to me, you don't like that person. Why don't you like that person? I said, that's not the case. I do like that person. Well, how come you're so standoffish? Well, because, I was young and immature at the time. I'm going back 35 years, right? And also because I saw so much of myself in this person, and it freaked me out. I mean, today, if I see myself in somebody else, I find ways to celebrate the positive aspects, but all I saw were the negative ones back then because, I had undiagnosed depression, so that's a little complicated. I have no issues with being vulnerable, in case that wasn't plainly obvious. Somebody said to me once, you're very brave to do what you're doing. And I'm like, I don't think I'm being brave at all. I don't think this takes any amount of courage or bravery. I think this is just, I needed to get this out. So I wrote about it. And I talk about it. And I'm hoping that my talking about it can relate to others. And if I do it in a soft, soothing voice, maybe it'll help people to relax a little bit. I mean, sometimes, as people have said, I might get lost in what you're saying, but you still relax me. I'm like, then I've done what I achieved to do. I've reached my achievement. I've done what I set out to do. That's what I was trying to say. Because all I want to do is help people. Whether it's help you relax, help you to come to terms with something that may or may not be going on in your life. How to deal with anxiety and depression. And what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you or anyone else. I hope it does. I can't make any guarantees, though. So for some reason the screen has gone all haywire, but I have no control over that. I hope the sound is still good. Does it sound okay? I'm not all distorted like last week, I hope. Anyway. Oh, I have this. I forgot to change the I forgot to change the stream details. My apologies. I was quite tired. This was a last minute thing. I'll just make a retitle right now so that when it saves to YouTube, it'll make sense. Late August Ramble. That's what we'll call this. Everything else is the same. When it saves in YouTube, it'll have the right title. Oh, thanks. Good to know I sound okay. Oh, dude. People can see it in the chat, but I won't post it in the video. That's tough. You know, here's all I can say about that, and this might help you deal with it. Might. You are helping somebody who needed your help. It's difficult because, you know, you see somebody who needs help, so you're an empathetic person, and you want to help out another person, another living, breathing human being, and one that is your friend. And now you've discovered that maybe, you know, you're questioning, did I make the right decision? What I would suggest is you could have a conversation with that person or with the boss and say, look, I was trying to help out somebody who needed help. And if your boss is a mature individual, that boss will just, look, this is not you. This person, if they screw up, it's on them, not you. You were just being empathetic and trying to help another person. And if your friend who can't be responsible and be respectful and be grateful for the solid that you did them, well, how good of a friend are they? Maybe you can have that conversation with that person at another time and say, listen, man, I stuck my neck out for you. And you're going to be disrespectful to me by behaving in this manner? That's not friendship. If you lose this job, that's on you. And I will not do anything for you to get it back. I got you in the door. The rest is up to you. Be an adult. And that's really, you know, that's all I can say about that. It's a tough conversation, but I would recommend you have that conversation with your boss where you say, listen, you know, if things don't work out, I'm really sorry. I was just, you know, trying to help another human being who needed work. And like I said, if your boss is a decent human being, they won't let it reflect on you at all. It never should. You're trying to help somebody. They need an employee. You found somebody that they can employ. That's literally all you've done. The rest is up to the employee to be a good employee for the employer. And if they can't, there's nothing you can do about that. So don't try not to take that one too hard, because it's got nothing to do with you as a person. You did the right thing by trying to help another human being. And that's all you can really do. Hello. Thanks for joining. Had to clear my throat. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Is he dealing with his depression and his anxiety? Is he sought therapy, counseling? Is he on medication? Is he doing the work? You have to put the work in. If you want to get healthy, you have to put the work in. So it's like sleep at regular hours, go to bed at the same time every night. You can't be up partying, drinking, smoking, doing drugs, whatever the case may be. And I'm not judging any of that. But if you have depression and anxiety, you need to keep all of that in check. You need to get regular sleep. You need to eat a regular, healthy diet. You need to get exercise. Perhaps medication. It works very well for me. I don't know if it will work for that friend of yours, but who knows? Divorce, sure. That's certainly terrible, and that will definitely weigh heavy on him because of the fact that, it's difficult. It's a difficult situation, and men don't necessarily have the same sort of support network that women do. I don't. Was he married to a man or woman? I don't know. So I'm not. I shouldn't automatically go there and suggest that he was married to a woman. I don't know. Oh, well, he definitely needs counseling and perhaps a 12-step program, I would suggest. Here's the thing about it, though. You can't make a person do something if they don't want to do it. So this could be somebody that you love and care for and really want to see the best of. You want to see them have their best life, live their best life. Well, that's such a cliche saying, but the thing is this: you can't make them better. You can, look out for them, suggest the best things that they can do for themselves, but they have to come to the realization on their own, whether it's, on their own or through therapy. And living a very strict life takes a lot of time. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, yeah, you should talk about your issues, man. You should talk about it. Keeping this stuff inside it's not good. And here's the thing. Now there's a Canadian comedian that you may or may not be familiar with. Her name is Elvira Kurt. We're connected on Twitter. I send her some jazz stuff from time to time. She's a wonderful person and a brilliant comedian. I love her comedy. She's so funny. And she talks about how, and this might be a little drawn out story, but bear with me. And so her parents immigrated to Canada from Hungary. And I'm not the product of immigrant parents, so I'm only speaking from her perspective of what she has told us in some of her stand-up routines. And she says, immigrant parents very often will always meet with other immigrant parents and then compare what their children are doing. Oh, she says, my Hungarian mother's talking to one of the other Hungarian women at the Hungarian Community Center. And one of them says, oh, that is my son. He is a doctor. And that is my other son. He is a lawyer. And there is my other daughter. She's a psychiatrist. What about you? Oh, that's my daughter over there. She's a comedian and a lesbian. Now, here's where it gets funny. She tells that joke in the stand-up show about 45 minutes into the show. And everybody just sort of goes, she goes, oh, right. See, here's the thing. So you've been watching me for 45 minutes and you've been enjoying me, and because I've not talked about sexuality, you automatically assumed I was a straight woman and probably had a boyfriend or a husband or a partner or something. And now you see me differently because you've just discovered that I'm a lesbian. Here's the thing. I've always been that way. The only one who changed was you. And I thought, my goodness gracious, that is an absolutely brilliant comedic bent, but a brilliant way of dealing with life. And I say that because I was at a party a bunch of years ago, a reunion of sorts, and somebody said, "Dude, what's with all this talk about, depression? What's going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know who you are anymore." And I laughed and I said, "I've had this since before we met. I just kept it quiet. Now that you know I have it, you've changed. I'm still the same person." So remember that. And I thank Elvira Kurt for that story because it's so true. I've had this forever. I've had this since before I knew you. And it applies to many things in life. When people don't see on the surface that you're gay or bi or straight or queer or poly or trans or depressed or anxious or whatever the case may be. Because society has trained us to put a mask on and hide it for everybody. I refuse to hide anymore. Hi, my name is Paul. I have depression and anxiety, a little bit of ADHD. I'm a 6 foot tall, cis, het, white male at the age of 54 with a six-pack. I sit atop the white privilege pyramid. And I'm well aware of this, so I'm going to spend the rest of my life giving this privilege away to try and help people who have not had the advantage of being born this. Hey, it doesn't mean I don't have problems. Just because I'm privileged doesn't mean I don't have issues. We all do. But I'm here to try and make the world a better place, and in doing so, I somehow, some way, will have to surrender myself to the world. You are absolutely right. Doesn't it feel good to breathe? Take deep breaths. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but no one should be entitled by their own opinion. I think that's a great little saying. I'm going to hang on to that one if you don't mind. Okay. So I'm gonna finish up in a minute or two. Before I do that, I need you to remember to breathe. And I know it sounds so simple, and I say it all the time, but it's so important. Deep breaths. They really do calm your heart and mind, bring you a sense of deep, calming relaxation. And I thought I'd end it off with just a little bit of whisper content for those who wish to have some. Because I know that some people really do like the whisper content. Myself, I'm not good at the whisper, I don't think. It's a little hard on my throat, and I'm a little rough right now because it's ragweed season and my allergies are beginning to take a big chunk out of me. But I do know a few people have told me that when they hear the whisper content, they fall asleep right away. And my goal is to provide you with something calming and relaxing that you can sleep to, or maybe think about for a little bit before you relax. This is an ASMR channel about mental health, depression and anxiety, and how to cope, and how I cope. And hopefully the things I suggest to you will be helpful to you. I hope you are happy and healthy and relaxed. I hope you're feeling good about yourself. And I want you to feel good about yourself because life is very short and very fragile. I've been to 42 funerals in the last 10 years. And that really drives home the point of how fragile life is and how short